no more driving around for 30 minutes before going to the gym that's only down the block. At least not for today, because I gotta get back going. I gotta get back started. I gotta get back to back and do these sets back to back. Then check out the back. That's probably... How many times do you think you could say back in one sentence? A million? Who's to say? Who's to say and who's to care? But we know the deal. Pull downs, pullovers, rows of all sorts of varieties. And then before I know it, we'll be fucking posing down. I'm hype. I'm getting excited. I'm getting excited to get back veins again. Now, of course, it's not like I'm just dieting for fun. Like, it is so that I can kind of reset my appetite and then come back and bulk harder for the next one, which has been the which has been the pattern so far, climbing up from 200-ish to like 260, peak of the last bulk. So it's not just for fun, but it is pretty fucking fun. If you've never oh my goodness, I mean, come on, we've all got forearm veins. That's a given. That's a fucking... You do a set of curls in front of the mirror, your forearms are probably popping. Now, oh my, what do you think what's the craziness factor? I'm kind of imagining like a hierarchy. Like forearm veins, pretty back of the hand veins, everybody's rocking them. That big ass bicep vein, that's step one. Chest vein, when you really fucking flex and hold your breath, that's probably step two. Mid back vein, oh jeez, that is gonna be that's a moment. I will say that. The day that you get a back pump, look at your fucking, selfie camera facing the mirror, and you see even just a hint of a vein climbing across your back. Oh my goodness. I tell you what, you'll never forget it. So let's get started. Some heavy straight bar rows ought to be a perfect start. Okay. A few more, just like that. One more. Okay. Okay. Let's move on. Probably something pull downish. Slight change of plans. Machine rows instead. Yeah, I think a few more here. Even though it's a row, the fact that I'm doing it with my elbows tucked in close to my body is really giving me, I mean, I'm feeling some traps, but it's mainly lats right here. So a few more. One more. Okay. Let's open pull down. Let's go quick. You go to get one sip of water, one quick little sip, and the pull down gets yoinked. But it's been a little while since I've done pullovers, so this may be a blessing in disguise. Yeah. 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 That only felt okay. Let's actually wait for a pull down to open up. Now we're in business. Okay. I think that's it. One more. One more, and then we're done. We'll make this one a drop set too. A little extra heavy for the first portion, and then lighter than the last second, or than the last set for the second portion. Just to kind of focus a little more on squeezing instead of trying to just put a ton of tension on my lats. Okay. All right. Let's find somewhere to pose down. All right, so all the really good posing spots are already taken. So we'll just sneak off into the locker room and do just a really quick one. Oh yeah, here we go. Oh, the same thing backwards, and then we roll. Oh, okay. Let's get out of here quick. I'm not one to look smacks, but there is a little bit more of a shallow, I don't know, maybe not even shallow. That might not be the right word. But when you diet down and you get leaner, and you will start to get more of a defined face. I'll try to find some pictures and actually make like a legit side-by-side comparison. But my face changes. It looks very different, bulked to cut. And I don't even put on that much body fat, you know? Like when I get bulked up, I'm definitely softer, but nothing crazy. I'm not talking about anything crazy here. Only, maybe, how many even? 20 pounds? No, not even 20 pounds of fat. Probably only like max 10 extra legit pounds of fat tissue on my body when I bulk up, typically. Just kind of basing that off of how my weight changes when I'm bulked up to cut down. But just a few pounds of fat, it changes the way you look, man. So if you're a heavier dude and you cut down to like, fuck, man, even just 14% body fat, I'm not even talking veiny and diced. Just like, get back into a little bit more of a lean shape. You are probably going to look a little bit better. You're not going to be so puffy. And, whatever. That shouldn't be your benchmark for how much you can enjoy your life. But who doesn't want to look good? Who doesn't want to look good? And speaking of that, that is another point which kind of turns people away from bulking. Yeah, I kind of forgot about that. I've been talking about like the pros and cons of bulking. I kind of forgot. Usually what I think of as the main point against why people don't want to bulk is because they don't want to lose their abs. Yeah, if you really push a bulk, you are going to get a little bit more of a, moonish kind of face. I'm not talking insane, You shouldn't be bulking to the point of just slapping body fat all over yourself. If you gain weight too fast, as crazy as that sounds, that is a problem, because you don't want to just be wasting your calorie surplus by converting all those extra calories to just fat tissue. But it is the nature of the bulk. It is the nature of the beast. By getting heavier, well, you're going to get heavier. So that's kind of where you got to have the fucking delayed gratification, man, Accept a few months of I was about to do like 10 brain rot words in a row. Oh, I think that shit is fucking funny. I think rizzing up Livy Dunn at LSU, Baby Gronk style with motion, all those AI generated edits, I think that's the funniest shit. That's just what fucking happens. And if you can't take the heat, you're out of the kitchen. In a literal sense, literally, if you don't want to bulk up, you won't be eating so much food. But I think either case, when you diet down, it is kind of a hassle. You have to be a touch hungry for a while. And when you bulk up, if you're properly bulking, you kind of do have to eat to uncomfortability, because the nature of a bulk itself means that throughout the day, you will have eaten as much food as you're hungry for. You'll get to a point where, okay, I've had enough, I'm done. Like, if nothing else was deciding to make you eat any more food, you'd probably push your plate forward and say, may I be excused? So, to bulk up, it does take not even a touch of effort, it takes a bit of fucking effort to get your calories in on a consistent basis, day after day after day. Watch the scale go up. Now, in the gym, I think when you're bulking up, you do that's probably when I feel the most freakish, at least lifting the weights themselves, because I'm strong, I'm full of fucking carbs. I get pumped when I'm dieted, like that was a good back pump, but bulked, even though I'd look bigger when I'm dieted down, because, there's more stuff going on, there's more veins and striations, and, your waist is smaller because you don't have so much fat around you. So just by proportionality, you do look bigger and cooler. But when you're bulked, that's when you're really the biggest. Like, bulked and pumped, that's the biggest that you'll ever be physically. So even though it may not look it per se on camera or whatever, you do get to feel it. You know, and it's kind of fun to walk around feeling a little bit more like a behemoth than usual. And I don't even mean fucking, you have to get 250 to feel that way. I felt like I was fucking pretty heavy when I first, worked my way up to 200. Even at I gotta find a picture of me when I was a really lean 180. But even just walking around like that, I feel pretty fucking cool. You know, being to get the benefits, to get the proper enjoyment from being a lifter, you need to understand that that doesn't come from being in a specific place. That doesn't come from reaching a certain level of progress. And to have that mentality, I think, is really just fucking detrimental. And this goes for everything, but I'm going to relate it to lifting. If in your mind you think, once I get here, I'll be happy, that has never worked for anyone ever. Once I get here, once I reach this, then I'll be satisfied. Then I can start enjoying my life. Then I can actually start being happy about stuff. And until then, because you know what happens when you get there, you want more. That's what you're used to now. That's your new baseline. So what I was about to say was the enjoyment that you get as a lifter in the process of it comes from the process of it. Actually being fucking huge, like, it's cool. In no way am I not going to say it's fucking cool. At least if you've got, a brain wired to fucking, hit the gym. It is cool to be big, for sure. But I feel just as kind of content now as I did when I was a fucking 170 pounder and I just hit 225 for 10 for the first time. It's just by doing it and getting a little bit better at things, and seeing numbers go up, getting more just skilled and proficient. That's where it's really fun. Not to mention, now we're getting really cliche here, but not to mention the friends you make on the way. Not to mention that's the real treasure. But for real, man, I mean, it's fucking fun. You go to school, everything's, you got your group of friends, but everybody's doing their own thing. You go to work, maybe you don't have an awesome like kind of workplace dynamic, so you're not really chatting a ton. Those aren't really your friends. And then, I mean, I'm not saying that you can only have friends when you're out doing a specific activity or doing something, but if every day you get to go to the gym, and all around you are not only people that are doing the same thing as you and are kind of, they're pushing themselves, at least they should be, which is going to make you feel better in general. But assuming you're not too socially anxious, and you go up and you talk to them, you get a little bit chatty, try to learn everybody's names, or not learn their names. There's dudes who I would say are my pretty good fucking gym friends who if you asked me what their name was, I could not fucking tell you. But, that bit of chatting every day, that's also nice. That is also nice. And I guess that doesn't come from just working out. If you go and, do anything anywhere, and you kind of have a set of people which are there pretty consistently, and you get to see them basically all the time, that's just fucking fun, man. And I don't know. I mean, I guess probably any kind of hobby is like that if people have to do it at a certain place. Like, I'm sure if you love shooting guns at a gun range, you might get a little bit chatty with everybody around you. But I don't know. Even imagining something like that, I don't think it's the same. And maybe I only think that because I'm so much of a gym nut, and that's all I'm fucking used to. I mean, as of late, that's got to be a pretty massive chunk of my, daily socialization. Because, if it's the weekend or whatever, if you got to do your shit during the week and go to class and stuff, you're doing your business. You're not really getting too much chit-chat in. So, that's another benefit. But I don't need to tell you that. If you're watching this video, you're already a fucking full-fledged lifter. It is kind of fun to sort of reminisce on it like that in a way. And oh man, I feel so silly. I feel so like cliche when I say like kind of basic ass fucking quotes, but they're fucking true, man. You know, every cliche quote that there is, you know, you hear it and it's like, oh, like like everything where it's like the grass is never greener on the other side, like shit like that. As like, you know, we all get it. Everybody gets what the meaning of those are. But when you can apply those to something in your life and you actually kind of like say like, oh shit, yeah, they were right, fuck. Or like, no wonder they say that, huh? Now I know. It's you kind of get a deeper understanding of it. So if you're killing it right now, or you know, even if you're not necessarily like totally killing it, but you know, it's peacetime where you're at. Everything's good, no drama, no family issues. You get to wake up, do your shit, be pretty chill, laugh a decent amount. That's nice. That is very nice. So if that's you right now, take a mental picture. Take a mental picture and don't forget it. I do not love the downer mentality. It's just not fucking cool, man. I mean, this is just my opinion, of course. I'm not saying you're wrong. You know, in no way would I say anything that direct. But, you know, when I see every depressing gym edit, or, I mean, I've heard people, like, heard and seen it commented, like, yeah, before I get hyped up for a set, I call myself a total piece of shit. And I'm like, fuck. If I don't hit this, then I'm worthless. I've literally seen people say that, and they're not joking either. Fuck, man. I don't know. I don't like that. That's just not cool. And I think the reason why I think that is because in my mind, if I kind of imagine what I want to do to be pretty just content day by day by day, it's to spend more time in the green, right? If this is baseline, if this is the bar in which you're not really particularly happy, but you're not upset about anything either, this is just neutral, this is your neutral state of being, the more that you can stay up here, even just a little, even like just slightly up here, you know, get your music playing, just whatever. The more you can just be a little bit up here, the longer. I'm not saying you have to be way up here fucking trying to have fun all the time. I just mean like generally be a little bit more positive about shit. It's gonna reflect in how you act. It's gonna reflect on how you perceive things. It's gonna reflect on how you respond to anything, you know, negative that comes at you. Because the more that you can stay in the green, and the more that you can be pretty, I don't want to say unbothered, but let's just say let anything which could, you know, potentially upset you unnecessarily just phase past you and not actually get under your skin, stuff like that. You're gonna have way more fun, man. And it's gonna let you focus on your own shit so much more. Because if that's your thing, if you get used to being chill, getting your stuff done, having your own kind of routine, this is kind of a girl thing. Oh yeah. If you protect your peace for long enough, then that's going to be your new baseline. And I think that's just way fucking better, you know? So if that's my mentality, then calling myself a piece of shit for not being 300 pounds, it just doesn't fit. It just doesn't fit. And I guess I understand the logic, you know, when it comes to, like, back to relating it to working out. Like, I've heard people say, like, you know, you should never be satisfied when you look in the mirror. If you're happy with your progress, that means that you don't want more. And I mean, I guess I just don't think that's the best way. I don't think that's the best mentality. It definitely works. You know, people get fucking huge doing it, but I don't think it's long term, man. You know, because when does it end? When does it? I was just talking to somebody like this. If he's watching this, he knows I'm talking about him. But when do you get to enjoy what you're doing? If every time you go work out, you're like, oh, I'm such a piece of shit. Fuck, come on. I gotta prove myself by doing this set. If that's how you go about every workout, when do you think suddenly you're just gonna flip a switch and start enjoying it? I'm not so sure, man. So all I'm trying to say there is regulate your thoughts a little bit more carefully. Regulate your thoughts a little bit more carefully, because as cool as working out is and everything else is, right? Your body's only going to follow where the mind leads. And if constantly in your fucking head you're telling yourself just fucking like just negative shit, and I'm not talking about like if you've got actual hardships in your life, that's different. But just like putting yourself down, eesh. So if this is you, if you know, if as I've been saying some of this stuff, you can kind of like a thought pops up in your head like, oh crap, yeah, I have been doing that. Fuck. I'll say this: if you can get a little bit tighter with the energy that you put into yourself, I think you'll start to see it. You know, we're getting into some real fucking uh, controlling your thoughts, stoic level stuff. But I'm getting too deep into conversation. I just missed my turn. But you get the gist. You know, if every time the thought pops up in your mind, like, oh, I'm such a piece of shit, fuck, just smack it away. Come on, get real. You know, get fucking real. So that's enough there. If that's not you, then I guess this last fucking few minutes were maybe not your favorite portion of the chit chat. But whatever, what freaking ever. Because I'd rather do my workout and just enjoy pushing myself, you know, and then check the pump, look over my progress pictures, see how far I've come already, and then it gets me really hyped up to see how far I'm gonna go gains wise. Like if you've been lifting for a few years and you look back at your progress pictures of even a year ago, even you a year ago, and you're like, holy crap, man. I used to be that small. My biceps have gotten so big, dude. Fucking sick. I think that's what you should be focusing on a little more. So, enough of that. Enough of that negative mentality, mumbo jumbo. What am I going to eat today? We'll find out. Another 200 grams, or no, what am I saying? Another 150 grams of quality protein, be it from a protein shake or some kind of animal product, be it steak, fish, turkey, chicken, eggs, you know, whatever. You're not really going to go wrong with meats, dairy, and eggs. If that's where the majority of your protein is coming from, that's pretty much what you want to do. And I'd say that's a pretty solid rule to follow for anyone doing any sort of diet. You know, I'm not going to go so crazy as to bust out 7 ounces of liver like a certain king that we are all well aware of, but they're not wrong. They are not wrong. Carnivore proponents, I think they're onto something. Because I do feel better, and maybe not even better, but just, actually, yeah, I think just fucking better. If I've got some red meat every day compared to not, I can tell that I just feel a little, I can't pinpoint it. I can't put my finger directly on it, but I do like it. So that's one thing that I've changed diet-wise, at least in the protein department, in the last, well, pretty much ever since the last, or since the beginning of the bulk, is I try to make sure I get some red meat in. Be it a steak, ground beef, or whatever else. Huh, goodness. So, plan for tomorrow, I think tomorrow is going to be arm day with Mr. Dowda. Arm day with Mr. Samson Dowda. I just hope I don't get too emasculated. Because me right now, I think I'm probably rocking like 19-inch arms pumped and change. I don't know about, I was 19 and a half bulked, so right now they probably dropped to 19. And I guess I gotta ask him. But 19 to 20, he's got to be close to 23 at least. We'll have to see how many. Maybe I'll try to. Actually, I won't try. I'll bust out the measuring tape. We can do a little comparison of me and someone who's like nearly 100 pounds heavier than me. You love to see it. Oh my goodness. Now that is, oh. I mean, it's out of this world. So that'll be fun. But I will see you for whatever video the next one ends up being. Could not tell you what exactly, but I'll see you then.